Hey, it's Dr. Faith. I'm back talking to you guys about the reality of love, life, and leadership. Something that people ask me a lot about is the idea of being equally yoked and what that looks like. A lot of people think, well, she goes to church, he goes to church, or they say I'm a Christian and they say they're Christian and I'm a Christian, so we're equally yoked. Well, I really feel like it's a little bit more than that, and I really encourage you guys when you meet your spouse that you look beyond just the surface in terms of we go to church or we love God. And so I'm just going to share with you guys a few of those things that for me really affirms that a couple is equally yoked. One of them is having the same religious background. So when we say God, that could mean a lot of things. So for Christians, you need to make sure both of you guys are Christians. And not only leave it there, but I would really encourage you guys to explore the differences that you have in your expression of worship, in your understanding of the gifts of the Spirit, things like deliverance, things like prayer, all those things that are important to you. Make sure that your future spouse also understands, but and they don't necessarily need to be flowing in them as well, but they have that willingness to learn and to grow, as well as to permit you to continue to grow in that. So the first thing is not just your spiritual background, but your expressions of God and your understanding of doctrine and principles, and the way that even marriage is modeled in marriage in the Bible. Those things are really important to affirm that you are equally yoked. Also looking at your vision. If one person is called to Africa, the other person is called to the inner cities of America, either you guys are not going to fulfill the fullness of your callings, or you're going to be bumping heads all the time. And so really make sure that part of being equally yoked is that what you bring to the table and what he or she brings to the table matches with the overall vision that you have for your life. And a lot of people get stuck even at that, because many people don't even know what they're called to do, or their career, or what they were made to do. And so even before you think about getting married, make sure that you know what you were made to do. You have a clear understanding of your giftings and who God crafted you to be. And so when you're looking at being equally yoked, you guys can put the visions and say, you know what, I'm, for example, with my husband and I'm called more so to the mountain of religion, where I'm more so in the forefront. I'm talking, I'm preaching, but I'm also a business person. And I'm also someone who really values family and has a calling to the nations. Well, for my husband, he loves the Lord. He's a teacher of the word. He doesn't necessarily need to be in the forefront, but he's a business person. He has a calling to the nations, especially Africa, which was a big thing for me. As well as he allows me to be who I am, and he's comfortable in me being a leader and a pioneer, because he's a leader and a pioneer in his fields as well, even though he's a scientist. And so we were able to find the places where we were equally yoked, even in our vision or even in our career. So you want to look at spiritually, are you equally yoked? And then your visions, are you equally yoked? And even I would go as far as exposure, whether it's academically or around the world, being able to travel around the world, things like that make a difference. When people have two different world views, it's very hard for them to come together in agreement. And the Bible is very clear, how can two walk together lest they agree? And so, of course, there's going to be experiences one has that the other one doesn't have, that's going to help enlarge one's experience and make you a better person. We don't want to be the same people, but it's very hard to talk to someone who has a totally different worldview, has had totally different experiences, because they're not going to understand you. I had to have someone who was okay with meeting people constantly, that was okay with different cultures and especially different food. I couldn't be with anyone who, was picky about that stuff, because we travel a lot. And so even little things like that play a big part. So really think about what it means to be equally yoked, not just spiritually, but your vision, and your calling, and as well as your overall world views, that you guys see the same, see things in the same way in a lot of areas. All right, that's it for today. I will talk to you soon again about the reality of love, life, and leadership. For more information on these things, you can visit my website, askdrfaith.com. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.